China's $1.4 billion tourism hit. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from news.com.au because it's discussing, well, the hit to tourism because of the absence of Chinese tourists. Now, I grew up on the Gold Coast. I worked at Woolworths in Surfers Paradise, and well, you can imagine we had lots of international tourists come through, lots of Chinese, Japanese, lots of Asians. A lot of them would come in big tour groups. I remember in particular the Japanese, they loved their Tim Tams. They would just literally stack up a whole trolley with Tim Tams and they would send it back home in boxes. You know, so there was I have seen firsthand and experienced firsthand the impact that tourism has on different economies. If we have a look here at, I'll bring up this infographic, which just shows you the scale of the tourism industry in Australia, about $60 billion. That's bigger than some of our major exports, guys. This is one of our biggest exports, you know, and it employs a lot of people. So, and we've been discussing this on the channel for some time, the impact of declining tourism. I mean, I grew up on the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is a tourist city, guys. Don't kid yourself to think there's any other reason why people go to the Gold Coast. It's a tourist trap, and it's fine. It's part of the reason why Rachel and I settled up here in Brisbane, because, well, there's a little bit more going on, not much more, but a little bit more. So, absence of Chinese tourists this February will cost the economy $1.4 billion, just in February. Retail and hospitality businesses will miss out on $1.4 billion in tourist dollars because of the absence of cashed up Chinese visitors for the Chinese New Year. And this is the thing. How is this going to impact all of the value of these rental accommodations? We're talking about the Gold Coast. How's it going to hit there? People I remember we were looking at another video where real estate agents were saying, buy up in Surfers Paradise. Great time to get an apartment. Then you get stung with huge body corporate fees, and you probably have a lift that needs to be replaced, and maybe there's concrete cancer in there, and you got water leaking in from your veranda, and you can't rent the thing out because tourist numbers are down. Yeah, sounds like a brilliant time to buy. Australia's retail and hospitality sectors are expected to suffer a $1.4 billion financial hit because of the absence of cashed-up Chinese tourists during the Chinese New Year celebrations. Chinese New Year falls on February 12th and is also the month that traditionally has the biggest influx of Chinese tourists to Australia. In 2019, more than 200,000 or 14% of short-term visitors from China that arrived in February, according to the ABS. That number was drastically reduced to 21,000 in 2020 as the borders closed because of the pandemic outbreak. And what's going to happen this February, everyone? I mean, tourist industries are struggling. You just look up the whole coast of Queensland, the number of businesses. You know, it's becoming a bankruptcy coastline, sadly. With tourist flights from China grounded, let alone the rest of the world, the financial fallout will be immense, says National Retailers Association CEO Dominique Lam. She said Chinese visitors, more or less, came to Australia with empty suitcases in February with a plan to go on a high-end spree for gifts to take home. It will be interesting to see what happens because we know they come here and shop big and then return. Well, that's true. They spend more than Aussies going shopping when they're over here. And you tend to always go a little bit silly when you go on holiday, particularly when you go overseas. You're thinking, oh, well, you know, I'm probably not going to get here for another maybe 5-10 years or maybe at all. So I'll go, you know, I'll buy that, I'll get that. It's also thought they'd come with empty suitcases and do a lot of gifting in high-end items. I think we're going to see a fallout around the Chinese New Year time, when in the past it has been very, very beneficial for retailers. Of the 206,284 Chinese short-term visitors in February 2019, 39% landed in Sydney, 28% in Victoria, and 20% arrived in Queensland. The average Chinese tourist spent slightly more than $8,500, totaling $1.75 billion in February 2019. Well, there you go. Retail expert Gary Mortimer said traveling and shopping tours had become a trend among the Chinese middle class. their absence would be felt across all sectors, from retail through to tour operators and even casinos. I remember at the Bavarian House steakhouse down in the Gold Coast where my mother worked, they'd have all the tourist groups coming through and they'd be making all this food, and there's big numbers. The latest numbers indicated a 99.8% decline. 99.8% decline in short-term visitors from China. So yeah, that's essentially destroyed that sector. It's non-existent now. So I would expect it to be close to a $1.4 billion loss to the economy. And that's not even including domestic flights, the QUT professor said. I had to dig through the ABS and Australian tourism data to draw those figures. And that includes food, hospitality, entertainment, tours, retail, accommodation, casino, and car hire. I had to round it down to $1.4 billion as I've taken out spending on conference fees and educational expenses and international and domestic flights. Well, regardless if he's had to do a bit of rounding, it's going to be a big hit to the economy, to the tourist sector. He said popular tourist destinations such as Cairns and the Gold Coast would be hard hit, as well as Sydney and Melbourne's most popular tourist attractions like Sydney's Taronga Zoo and the Penguin Parade at Phillip Island. I mean, I think we saw footage and stuff of up far north Queensland, or people have been sending me things. It's just dead. Just dead. There's usually a dip in local sales during February, which has been underwritten by the influx of Chinese tourists, but not this year. And it's going to be felt right across all those sectors, he said. He said retailers should have started or even planned to start selling on Tmall, an online Chinese language website set up for businesses to sell to consumers. Retailers who can't get the customers to come to them need to find a way to get to the customers, and you can do that on Tmall, he said. Maybe selling grey market Tim Tams. It's a site a lot of major retailers are already on, and businesses should be exploring that option. Queensland Tourism Industry Council CEO Daniel Gaswind predicted the Sunshine State would miss out on more than $300 million in Chinese tourist dollars. It's going to be quite significant, especially those in areas that are highly dependent on the Chinese tourist dollar, like Cairns and the Gold Coast, he said. Qantas's international fleet is grounded because of the pandemic. Otherwise, they would normally be operating a Sydney-Shanghai service and flights from Hong Kong this February, a representative said. So there we have it, everyone. Well, 2021 is certainly starting to be an interesting year, and this is the impact. We've been talking about it for a while. What do you think? $1.4 billion hit to the economy due to tourism. $300 million missing from the Queensland economy. There are going to be a lot of businesses that are depending on this, and it's just not going to materialize. As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I cobble together here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.